A sample of 30 BHCC autocommuters travel an average distance of 4.1 miles, with a sample standard deviation of 2.9 miles. Find a 95% confidence interval for the mean BHCC autocommuters travel distance. First, we have to verify either n is greater than or equal to 30 or x is normal. And we have exactly a sample of 30, and so we're okay. Second, we move on to finding error. So the formula for error is almost the same thing as in section 8.1, except now we're estimating standard deviation with its sample standard deviation, which in this case is 2.9. Anytime we estimate population standard deviation with sample standard deviation, we automatically go to the t values instead of the z values. So we get the critical value t.95 with n minus 1 degrees of freedom. In other words, sample size 30, 29 degrees of freedom. I like to indicate the degrees of freedom when my critical value is a t by putting it right downstairs along with our confidence level. So it's t.95 comma 29. Now we multiply by standard deviation over root n as we normally do. It's just that the standard deviation comes from a sample, that's all. Divided by root 30. So let's carefully look up t.95 comma 29 degrees of freedom on our t table. So 0.95 is in this column here, confidence level 0.95, and let's scroll down and find 29 degrees of freedom, and here we have it marked out. 29 degrees of freedom gives us 2.045. So we get 2.045 multiplied by 2.9 over square root 30. And we're always talking about rounding and being careful. What I do is, if I'm going to get an error, regardless of what section it is, I always go one more place value, that's my rule, than what the original data is. So here, the original data, we have it given to the 10th place, and for the standard deviation as well. So let's round this to the nearest hundredth on our calculator. 2.045 multiplied by 2.9 divide square root 30, and I come up with an answer rounded to the nearest hundredth of 1.08. So now we can use that and get our answer. Confidence interval is x bar plus or minus e. So what was our x bar? Well, it was again 4.1 plus or minus e, which we found to be 1.08. So a 95% confidence interval for the mean BHCC autocommuter's travel distance is 4.1 minus 1.08, which gives us 3.02 to 4.1 plus 1.08, which gives us 5.18 miles.